Hi everybody, my name is Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And I'm Jason.
And this is the YHWH and the Torah YouTube channel.
And we are very happy that you have joined us on our little itty bitty tiny ecclesia here, and we thank you guys very, very much. And we are those people who think that the laws, statutes, and commands are good for all generations until the heaven and earth passes away, and even then I think it's probably still going to be good because the laws, statutes, and commands are wondrous. They are beautiful things, and the world, pretty much the world, has rejected everything. And I can tell you they've rejected everything because we took a couple of ventures out, and we took a couple of ventures over to BitChute, and we have an adventure over in Odyssey, and the people over in BitChute are a little violent. They're like violent, angry people, and they use a lot of adjectives in their words, things I would have to go beep, 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 and try to explain to you. They don't have full sentence structures without putting a whole bunch of swearing in there. And they absolutely do not like the law, statutes, and commands of our Creator. So the YHWH and the Torah channel, that that is the clean streets of a nice, pretty city. Then we have J Bossman 008. And it's kind of like it's probably like the better parts of the Bronx in New York. And then we have BitChute, and it's got to be somewhere between Harlem and some fifth world country. And it's just a really hard place to hang out. So we are over there. We are uploading these videos over there into the ghettos. And I'm sorry. Everybody's cracking up here. I'm just saying it is a rough neighborhood. So we are the people. We try not to swear. We try not to do things, and we try to keep our comments and things good of that nature. Guys, why do you find that funny?
I don't know.
Everybody's over here cracking up. I didn't mean that as a thing of that nature, but everybody's around the table and they're cracking up. But that's the way it is. So BitChute is crazy. If you guys if we ever get kicked off YouTube, I guess that is where you can find us. But I wouldn't go to the ghettos. I would maybe go into the Bronx, maybe go to Odyssey or something of the sort. But you can always find us at YHWHandtheTorah.net, YHWHandtheTorah.net. Now, while as everybody is composing themselves, I hear one boy that's in a room snickering around. I don't even know why this is so funny. But anyway, we are in month 6, and month 6 we are in day 4, which on the Gregorian calendar is the last day of this month, August 31st. And so here we are. Gregorian month, right. And so it is the 3rd day of the 6th month, and we are here. Has everyone contained themselves? Nicole, how you doing? No,
they are not contained.
Nobody has contained themselves. All right. So as we are doing this, and I'm glad I did contain myself, because if you guys are all cracking up, it would have been over. We'd have to restart this. All right. So anyway, I guess the comedy hour here at Big Daddy style. So here we go. Let's go into today's reading. And today's chapter is probably one of the most important chapters everywhere. Drum roll, please.
You did the wrong one.
Oh, crikey. Ah, man. I really bummed this out. I get so excited with the drum roll, and there it is. So I can't contain myself. There it is. Try again.
Round 2.
All right, Eli, that's good. Sorry, guys, if that's real annoying. It's kind of exciting here.
Sounds kind of annoying.
It does sound kind of annoying here as well. All right, so let's go into this. Chapters 1, 2, and 3. We had Moshe. How many times has Moshe started in Deuteronomy and said, "It's because of you people I will not go to this land"?
Twice, I think? I think 3 times.
Twice, yes. So far in Deuteronomy alone, we have, I'm not going to say bitter Moshe because he has every single right to be bitter, beyond bitter. And I can't, I'm not going to say that Yah's laws or judgments were harsh, but this is, this is his main man, Moshe, right? And so something that we should probably all understand is we are not the main man, Moshe. And the main man, Moshe, had issues like this, and Yah was still angry with him from like for 40 years. And so this is hard. This is a hard stuff to understand, and hard to understand our heart, mind, and soul of our Creator. But he's all about obedience, right? And that is where we have an entire religion, a Christian religion, or every religion that has said that they don't have to keep these laws. And I guess that's true. You don't have to keep the laws. You need to keep the laws if you want to keep the laws. If you want to be an evil pagan or a Satanist or a bacon lover or something of the sort, then, keep on keeping on. But, your soul is going to, at some certain point, we're not going to make this, from dust we came and dust we will go. And we have these important decisions right now that we must keep intact. And we have to protect our soul at all costs. Everything that we do, it must be protecting our soul. And Eli, let's get going here. Perhaps you can stop biting your nails. Let's continue on. All right, Deuteronomy 4. Again, this is like one of the best chapters everywhere, and you guys will see why. Now therefore hearken, O Yashrael, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live and go in and possess the land which Yahuwah Elohai of your fathers gives you. Right out of the gate.
We start with him basically saying, "Listen up. Here's what the
Christians will say. We're not Yashrael. You're not Israel. You're not Moses' people. We're not God's chosen people." Right? That's what they will say over and over and over. We guys, please, I'm not trying to be comedy hour. That's what they will say. I've heard it so many times, and I'm sorry I make a little funny voices with it, but every time that somebody types that stuff up, which I've seen that thousands of times, right?
Right, how they sound.
Well, yeah, and they're like, and they're eating their bacon as they do it. So
yeah, I feel like that's command as well. It should be like under like fault, like listen to the right, like listen.
It's coming, yeah. So this is it. But who is Yashrael, Eli?
Us.
How do you know we're Yashrael?
We keep the Torah.
Well, how do you know? You're not part of Moses' people, Eli.
There's one Torah for the strangers and the Hebrew. We are like grafted into his Israelites.
Okay, all right, that's valid. I'll take that. All right, let's go into verse 2. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may guard the commandments of Yahuwah Elohim, which I command you.
All right, so is saying you're only keeping the 10 Commandments and getting away with the rest, is that taking away from the Torah?
What about the Jewish Talmud? We have 25
adding to it.
25 books that do not line up with the Torah whatsoever in anything that they do. And we had a Jew come on. I was going to do the comment on it, but it was crazy because he's yelling. He's like going off on us. He goes, "Oh, you think we killed your Nazarene? We never even heard of a Nazarene." He's like, "We are the keepers. We're the guard of the Torah." So I wrote him back. I said, you better look up abortion clinics right there in Israel, my friend. They're open till 11:30 p.m. in your country. And if you guys are guarding the Torah, you're not doing a very good job of it. You're doing a terrible job of it because you're killing babies. And that's just one example of many. Okay, Nicole, did you get that in the command?
Where do I need to put that?
This is a brand new command.
That's what I thought.
Do not add or take away to the command.
I love this. Whatever commandment this is the one that we need to etch. If we were able to tattoo a commandment on our arms, that is what it would be, right? And every time that somebody's sitting there telling you something, like, "Oh, the laws of God are abolished. We go to church on Sunday, have communion like this, pay your tithes right here," you would look on your arm and you would say, "I'm sorry. Everything you're saying is either having me add to the word or I'm taking away from it." And it is a commandment that we do not do this. It's very important.
It's either you follow it wholly or you follow it not at all. You cannot pick and choose
There's
what
no
you want to do.
lukewarm.
Yeah, there's no picking and choosing what's right for you. You don't do that. You don't get to do that with regular law. You don't get to pick, I won't murder, but I can steal. You can't do that.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah, we got to keep these commands. Very, very important. All right, let's continue on. Your eyes have seen what Yahuwah did because of Baal Peor. For all the men that followed Baal Peor, Yahuwah Elohim has destroyed them from among you. But ye that cleave unto Yahuwah Elohim are alive of you this day. Let me reread that because I messed it up. But ye that did cleave unto Yahuwah Elohim are alive, every one of you this day. Behold, I have taught you commandments and judgments, even as Yahuwah Elohai commanded me, that ye should go do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Okay, so right there, it says that Moshe learned all he learned from Yahuwah, right?
Yes.
It says, he's like, "Look, I taught you what Yahuwah taught me." I'm not taking. There's nothing new.
It's the laws of Yahuwah, not the laws of Moshe.
It is the laws of Yahuwah. It's Yah's laws.
I mean, do you want to follow God's laws or sit there and say, "I don't follow Moses' laws"? It's really up to you on this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Verse 6 is yet another command. Guard therefore and do them. For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, "Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people." Now, why would the other nations look to these people and say they're a wise nation? What would cause them to say that they're wise?
Probably because they're sick, keeping out of trouble. They're like doing the good things. They're in peace. They're not like
They're not like offering their kids up to Moloch. They're not sitting there like, they have an idol.
They're not
like
tripping the blind and throwing them in the ditch.
Yeah, or you have like a chunk of wood and you're sitting there, you get on your knees to a chunk of wood and you're like, oh, piece of wood, help me today or something. That's what they were doing. Okay, 7. Nicole, did you get that in there?
That needs to
That is a sub-commandment of
keep my commands.
Deuteronomy
right?
4:2, yeah. For what nation is there so great, who has Elohim so nigh unto them, as Yahuwah Eloheinu is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great, that has commandments and judgments so righteous as all this Torah, which I set before you this day? And again, this is a long chapter, but it might be a little longer because these are very much points that we need to discuss. He says it right there. Look at the laws of North America. That's the only thing I can relate to other than South America. But the laws of North America, you can literally get arrested or a ticket for walking across the street at a place where there isn't a crosswalk. If you walk across the street and there's no crosswalk, technically that's called jaywalking. Depending on the mood of the police officer, he could toss you in the clink for walking across the street at the wrong spot. Isn't that crazy? Where is something in the Torah that says you cannot walk across the street or you're going to get tossed in jail, right?
There's no such law. That's like a hard law. That's like a burden.
It's like where are the commandments that say park your buggy at the stop sign, don't run the stop light or something of the sort? There's nothing of the sort. Even though they're probably good ideas to have, especially in the world of motor vehicles, you don't have anything in the law, statutes, and commands. It says it's great judgments, right? They're great, and so.
And they say, there's nothing like the Torah, because when you have the Torah, you're not living in confusion. You're not living in, not knowing what to do. With them, they all know what they're doing. They all know they have a unified Torah. They know they're not going to be destroying one another. They know they're not going to be stealing from one another. They know they're not going to be killing one another. Where the rest of nations are all wild. They have no laws. They are lawless people. And that's where you get the word lawless from, is because they're just insane people when they don't have a law, when they don't have something to govern over them.
And there's a lot of insane people that are frying up bacon this morning for breakfast, because that is the meat of breakfast for everybody. All right, 9. Only take heed to yourself and guard your soul diligently, lest you forget the things which your eyes have seen, and lest they depart from your heart all the days of your life. But teach them your sons and your sons' sons.
There's 2 commands in this one. One is guard your soul, and then the other is teach your children.
Yeah, and teach your sons, and teach your sons' sons. Well, that sounds like it's on the cross, right? Does that sound like the laws are on the cross? If we're teaching them to our sons,
I just don't see that as a burden where you have to teach your kids.
Hold on. If I teach it from my sons and I teach it to you, and you follow that commandment and you teach it to your sons, then your sons where's the commandment break, right? You understand, right? If we teach it to our sons and our sons'
sons, would have to break these commands, not to teach the Torah.
Yeah, that's it. And everybody, if you had sons, right? The sons are all going to be teaching everybody their stuff.
Guard your soul would be under guard Yahuwah's covenant laws, statutes, and commands, right?
And guard your soul. Only take heed to yourself. Guard your soul, diligently.
I feel like it's a different command, like guard your soul.
How would you guard your soul?
By
hearkening to the word of Yahuwah and not adding to or taking away from his Torah, I think. Or is this a new command, anyone? Okay.
I feel like it's different. Like it's almost like a thing like protect yourself, like guard your soul. It's more than like.
It does say guard your soul. So maybe that is the next command. So the first one is don't add to or take away from the words of Yahuwah, and then this one is guard your soul, right?
And then we have teach your children.
But that guarding your soul would be doing that, right? Or do we teach our sons? And okay, so maybe that is.
We already have a command.
We already have this as teach your children.
Do we have a command for teaching our sons?
Teach your children, yeah. So
okay.
you put that as a sub command and make a new command.
Right, guard your soul. Okay, so there's 2 commandments here so far. Keep the laws, commandments for all times.
I don't know what part of a burden it is to tell your children about the Torah. I don't know why people would say it's a burden. There's not a burden in this command.
All I can say is at this age that you guys are at, I am very grateful that we got into the Torah, because you guys would be rebellious wild men at this stage if we did not have Torah. You guys would be all sorts into some evil. I don't even know what it would be into, but it would be terrible. So anyway, so we got that, Nicole?
I think so.
2 commands. Guard your soul.
Yes.
And then teach your sons and your sons' sons. So is that 3 commands? That's 3 commands so far.
Yeah, well, it's 2 new ones and 1.
Okay, 1 subcommand. Okay, thank you, Nicole. Verse 10. especially the day that you stood before Yahuwah Eloheka in Korev, when Yahuwah said unto me, gather me the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children. Okay, so there's still more command. There's still something here. Right?
No, he's just recapping of what he told him.
I will make them hear my words, that they may fear me.
I was just like, because this is the mountain. He's like, gather all the people together, and they will fear me and obey me. So he's basically going back.
It
to
reiterates right here that they should fear him, that they may learn to fear Yahuwah.
Yeah.
Do we have something to fear Yahuwah?
Yeah, I think so. But I feel like it's more of a recap than a law, because he's like, back in Mount Horeb, I told you to gather all my people together, and so that they listen to me and fear me.
But do we have a command for fear me?
I think so. I'll look in just a second.
Because that they may learn to fear me all the days upon the earth, and they may teach their children. That's a command. Teach your children, right? That goes upon teach your sons, right? So teach your children, and the Jews don't want their women taught anything, so they are, I don't know, I guess they're superior men or something of the sort, but I don't know. Verse 11, and ye came near and stood under the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire unto the midst of heaven, with darkness, clouds, and thick darkness. And Yahuwah spoke unto you out of the midst of the fire. Ye heard the voice of the words, but saw no similitude, only ye heard a voice. And he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, even the 10 Devarim, and he wrote them upon 2 sapphire stones. And Yahuwah commanded me at that time to teach you commandments and judgments, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go over to possess it. Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that Yahuwah spoke unto you in Korev out of the midst of the fire. Does your guys say similitude?
I
Manner.
don't see that. Yeah, I think it's manner.
Spoke out of you, so similitude, yeah, so the same manner. What do you guys have? It says, ye saw no manner of similitude.
You saw no form of any kind the day.
But you saw no form. You only heard a voice.
Okay. So I guess that's what similitude is no form, but something. All right. Lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the multitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flies in the air, the likeness of anything that creeps on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth, unless you lift up the eyes unto the heavens, and when you see the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, should be driven to worship them and to serve them, which Yahuwah Eloheka has divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. Okay, so this is some extra stuff that do we have anything like that? We do know that we are not supposed to make a graven image.
This right here is quoting chapter Exodus 20.
We don't
Right.
have anything about fearing either, by the way.
Okay, so we need to go back up. I don't want to miss this. Where was this at?
Hold up.
So I think whatever the next one is, it needs to fear Yahuwah. That's verse 10. They may learn to fear me. We need to learn to fear Yahuwah. Learn to fear Yahuwah, Deuteronomy 4:10. Okay, so we clear with that one?
Yep.
Okay, and so where's the next one here?
I don't think we've had one since that.
Okay, where was I at, guys? 19?
Well,
17.
17?
You just finished 17.
Okay, so
No, you finished.
this,
18.
do we have it under the commands for graven images? Do we have
Yes.
it
It
that
says-
we cannot make
Yeah,
anything
he's-
that's male or female, or any kind of beast, or anything of all? Right? Do we have
We
this stuff?
have don't make a graven image of any likeness, whether in the earth or in the sky and the sea.
So we need to add this under that.
That's like a reference to.
Yeah, because this it gives us dude takes a chunk of wood and makes like a, I don't know, something out of it. Then you're not supposed to make anything out of it, right? Even a chunk of wood. And it even says that you're not supposed to worship the moon and the stars and the sun.
And that's what it says too in Exodus 23.
Okay, so are we
We
adding?
have that one, so I just need to put it down in here.
All right, so 16, 17, and 18 go to that one, and 19. All right, so we'll be doing this
16
one.
through 19.
Yep, 16 through 19. Sorry, Nicole.
Sorry.
All right, 20. But Yahuwah has taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Mitzrayim, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day. Furthermore, Yahuwah was angry with me for your sakes, and swore that I should not go over the Yarden, and that I should not go in unto the good land which Yahuwah Eloheka gives you for an inheritance. There's a third time. Moshe is just a bit perturbed. But I must die in this land. I must not go over the Yarden, but ye shall go over and possess that good land. You can definitely tell he's a little bitter here.
He's probably like growling this at them.
Take heed unto yourselves, lest ye forget the covenant of Yahuwah Elohim, which he cut with you, and make you a graven image, or the likeness of anything which Yahuwah Elohim has forbidden you. Okay, so 23 would go under that same graven image one. For Yahuwah Elohim is a consuming fire, even a jealous El. Even a jealous El. So I mean that right there, I mean that should tell you enough. I mean, if you're a jealous husband, you don't have other dudes sitting there trying to mac on your wife, right? It makes you very, very angry. Same for Yah. Don't do it, right? He says he's a jealous El, which gives us a great understanding of exactly what he is. 25. When you shall beget children and children's children, and ye have remained long in the land, and shall corrupt yourselves, and make a graven image, or a likeness of anything, and shall do evil in the sight of Yahuwah Elohim, to provoke him to anger, I call the heavens and the earth to witness against you this day, that ye shall soon utterly perish off the land. Whereunto you go over the Yarden to possess it, ye shall not prolong your days upon it, but shall utterly be destroyed. And Yahuwah shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither Yahuwah shall lead you. And here we are, right? We have woken up in the middle of the heathens. Everybody's sitting there eating pork around us, and we're like, hey, we shouldn't do this. Everyone's like laughing at us. All right. And there ye shall serve Elohim, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. Wow, that's cool. Does this tell us right here that Yah may eat? We know he smells, right?
Right.
And we know he hears. But does this mean that Yah eats physically where he's at? Does Yah have a kitchen and a chef?
I think maybe like the sacrifices, maybe when it gets burned up, kind of gets sent up to him somehow.
Is there a Mrs. Yah?
I don't know.
Is there a Mrs. Yah? That's a good question. All right, 29. But if from thence you shall seek Yahuwah Elohim, you shall find him. If you seek him with all your heart and with all your soul. Very important. Where do we hear that at? Seek him with all your heart and with all your soul. That's everywhere, right? That is what we're supposed to be doing. And how do you seek somebody with all your heart, with all your soul, Eli?
Obedience.
Obedience, yes. 30.
When you command?
Um.
Or no?
No, he says. I mean, it's
He's
just
basically saying what will happen.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what we should be doing. And we'll get to Deuteronomy 6 anywhere, which is basically, this would go under Deuteronomy 6. Yes. Okay, when you are in tribulation, and all these things are come upon you, even in the latter days, if you turn to Yahuwah Elohim, and shall be obedient unto his voice, and then with parentheses, for Yahuwah Elohim is a merciful El. He will not forsake you, neither destroy you, nor forget the covenant of your fathers which he swore unto them. For ask now of the days that are past, which were before you, since the day that Elohim created man upon the earth, and ask from the one side of heaven unto the other, whether there has been any such thing as this great thing, or has any been heard like it? Did ever people hear the voice of Elohim speaking out of the midst of a fire, as you have heard, and live? Or has Elohim essayed to go and take him a nation from the midst of another nation by temptations, by signs, by wonders, and by war, and by a mighty hand, and by a stretched out arm, and by great terrors, according to all that Yahuwah Elohim did for you in Mitzrayim before your eyes?
Mine in the NIV is talking about like a mighty one.
What?
Has any lowercase god ever tried to take for himself one nation out of another nation?
Oh, that could be. Or has God essayed to go and take him from a nation? That could be. It could be a translation
I think
error.
that makes more sense, but mine says Elohim with capital as well.
So, I mean, it would make sense. I mean, number one, there has never been a lowercase
Right.
Elohim that ever delivered his people.
That's why it was such a big deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then at the bottom it says like God did for you in Egypt before your eyes with a capital G.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So, yeah, I don't know. Well, where's where we could say it? People are always like, oh, the King James is the infallible word of God. It can never, ever be wrong, and 66 books is what we got. Okay, well, there it is right there. Some of these are like this. So in the NIV is like it says, has any God, and then this one is Elohim, and that could definitely be a translation, an interesting translation weirdness. Okay, I don't know the answer. 35. Unto you it was showed, that you might know that Yahuwah, he is Elohim, there is none else beside him. Out of heaven he made you to hear his voice, that he might instruct you. And upon earth he showed you his great fire, and you heard his words out of the midst of the fire. And because he loved your fathers, therefore he chose their seed after them, and brought you out in his sight with his mighty power out of Mitzrayim, to drive out nations from before you greater and mightier than you are, to bring you in, to give you their land for an inheritance, as it is this day. Know, therefore, this day, and consider it in your heart, that YHWH, he is Elohim in heaven above, and upon the earth beneath. There is none else. There's none else, folks. You shall guard, therefore, his statutes and his commandments, which I command you this day, that it may go well with you and with your children after you, and that you may prolong your days upon the earth, which YHWH Eloheka gives you forever. Okay, so that needs to go to the Deuteronomy 4:2, because it's
No, it's the guard your laws, statutes, and commands. I don't know why you're saying 4:2.
Deuteronomy 4:2.
That's
Yeah,
all to add, to add and take away. This is more like guard the commands.
Oh, so do we have this? You shall guard his statutes. I mean, guarding it means you should not add to or take away from. I mean, that's how I see his guarding. This is why I say it like this, right? If you're not guarding his commands, then you're like, okay, I'll take the Talmud. Okay, that looks good. So, all right, let's. So we have that. Is that a new one?
No.
No, it just goes under keep my commands.
Keep my commands. And so which command? That's one we already have, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 11. All right, 11 command. All right, so that's adding into it. Okay, please stop biting your nails. We have some nail biters here. All right. Then Moshe severed 3 cities on this side of the Yarden toward the sun rising, that the slayer might flee thither, which should kill his neighbor unawares, and hated him not in times past, and that fleeing unto one of these cities he might live, namely Betzer in the wilderness, in the plain country of the Revuim, and Ramoth in Gilead of the Gadiim, and Golan in Bashan of the Menasheim. And this is the Torah, which Moshe set before the children of Yisrael. These are the testimonies, and the statutes, and the judgments, which Moshe spoke before the children of Yisrael after they came forth out of Mitzrayim. On this side of the Yarden, in the valley over against Beit Peor, in the land of Sihon, king of the Amorim, who dwelt at Keshbon, whom Moshe and the children of Yisrael smote, after they were come forth out of Mitzrayim. And they possessed his land, and the land of Og, king of Bashan, 2 kings of the Amorim, which were on this side of the Yarden toward the sun rising, from Aroer, which is by the bank of the river Arnon, even unto Mount Sion, which is Kermon, and all the plain on this side of the Yarden, eastward, even unto the sea of the plain, under the springs of Pikgah. All right, well, there we go, folks. I think we got it. Yep. That would be the end of this chapter. That's a very important chapter. This is the first commands that we found inside of Deuteronomy. And they're very important commands because we are towards the end of the Torah, or at least at the final leg of the Torah. And it's something that they say, right?
It's like Moses' final words, right? If you can remember anything from each, don't forget this stuff.
Don't add to and don't take away from it. And
teach
so
your children.
And you know, people jump on me all the time because I am constantly going over the words of Paul, and Paul is adding to and taking away. And unless you are very firmly understanding in the Torah, you wouldn't know that. You would just think that some widow would need to be 60 years old and wash the feet of everybody out there before she could even be considered a widow. And that is not Torah. That is the laws of Paul, which I think would also be another great segment that we should go over one day. Just read all the letters of Paul and put down his laws versus the Torah, and then we'll actually see it, and then people can argue that. So, all right, I think that's it. Anyone else have anything?
We will be live on tomorrow night with our Youth English. We will be back tomorrow with the regular
sermon
we do here. Yep.
Lesson. It's not a sermon. It's just a lesson. We're just reading with y'all. So, yes, that is it. And so hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and we are out trying to fix little baby cows and do things of that nature. So we are off to do that. And again, thank you guys very much for praying for our cow. We do appreciate it. There is some, we think, positive movement towards that. So thank you guys. Yah does answer prayers, and hopefully he will continue to answer this as well. And if he doesn't, that's his priority, and that's his prerogative, and he works great wonders in every way. And sometimes we have to get sad to whoever find happiness, and so that's just the way it is. All right, everybody, that's it. Much love.
All right, read your Bible. Shalom.